You're listening to the Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we will be discussing Futurama Season 3, Episode 10, Where the Bugalo Roam, with your hosts, Tommy, the Joshua Jackson of this podcast roulette.
How's it going?
Pete, I couldn't think of another one, Woodward.
It's showtime.
He's the James Vanderbeek, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Does that make me Katie Holmes?
I just cry a lot.
And I'm Katie Holmes. And joining us today is our special guest, Brittany Hudak.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm also from Toledo, like Katie Holmes.
Really? I didn't know you were from Toledo.
I thought that was just part of an elaborate National Security Agency cover story.
Nope. I did an entire speech for my speech class in high school about Katie Holmes.
About how she was a beard for
No,
a
just a biography
Scientologist.
speech. This was way before all of that.
Really?
She was on Dawson's Creek at this time. It was what, 2000? 2000? Yeah.
And you didn't
maybe?
want to wait for your life to be over? Is that how that goes?
I had such a crush on her.
I was so old, I completely missed the whole thing.
Tom
Did you
Cruise
get a good-
ruined that
Did
for
you
me.
get a good grade, at least?
I did, because my teacher grew up with her family. Like, was the pastor at the church in Toledo for a while or something.
Did you know
and-
that before you wrote the paper, you brown
Yes.
noser?
Yep.
That's horrible.
Well, you read the room. That's, you know what? That's smart.
I think he's smart.
I got an A minus.
Did you try and kill yourself after that? It's the lowest grade you can possibly get.
Not at Catholic school.
They just give you a condemnation and send you to hell if you don't do well, right? That's how it works?
Yes,
It's
yes.
been a while
Yeah,
since
hell
I
is
was
the
there.
lowest grade you can get at Catholic school.
Yeah.
The second lowest grade is molestation.
I think a C is purgatory.
I think
Yeah.
It's, you know, just
limbo.
coasting.
I heard recently that limbo had been eliminated.
Recently?
Yeah.
Hermes would be so upset.
Right. No, well, not that kind of limbo, but what I didn't realize is that, like, you know, established
Tom, that was sharp.
We don't have to point out how good that was.
Oh, I do.
established organized religions can retcon their own, like, dogma.
Yeah, the Vatican II came out in, I want to say, 1994 or 92, and a lot of things were revised, and I think one of them was the
You've been using
purgatory.
You've been using that word a lot,
Because it was
retcon.
actually never in the Bible.
Yeah. It applies to this show a lot.
I know. What does it stand for?
Retroactive continuity.
Oh. I did not
That's the
know
first
that.
time, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I've heard
Oh.
that term used besides when Pete uses it, but
I've just
you
noticed
just
it a
thought
lot.
it was a
and
rat
in-
killer.
in context, I knew what it meant, but I didn't know the actual
You
definition.
spray it
I didn't
on the
know what
road.
it
That's
was.
true. Yes, I do.
And then
not
it
a
got
spray.
to the point where I was too afraid to ask anymore
yeah.
because he used it too much.
Yeah.
That's like when you don't know someone's name. You're just like, hey, you.
Oh, yeah.
For the 20th time.
I can't remember if I told this on the show or not.
Does anybody remember the guy that's talking right now's name?
This is
I'm gonna say
germane.
James
Panther.
Vanderbeek.
I once let a guy call me the wrong name for 9 years at a job.
Wow.
Because
Were you
originally,
working at a Parks and Recreation department?
no. Originally, I thought he was calling me chief, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then I realized, like 18 months in, he was
calling you
calling
Charlie.
me Jeff,
Oh, yeah?
and I couldn't help the fact that he kind of mumbled. But at that point, it had gone like way. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't even like 10 times or 20 times. It was every
So
workday.
you were the only
For
two
a year
people
and a half.
there? Or how did everyone else not
I
correct
just don't know. I mean, we never really worked with each other. I don't think it came up. I just think he thought there was a guy named Jeff that was me that worked in the one office, and he
Oh,
worked
so
in the
he was
other
in a
office.
separate, so he'd run into you
He was
once
in a
a
different
while.
functional unit.
okay.
I mean, it was all the same company.
Okay.
Oh, because
But-
that reference call would have been really awkward.
Yeah.
I'm calling a reference of Pete. We have no recollection of that.
Who are you talking about? You know, that guy always wears a shirt.
Brittany, what did you do today? Did you go to
Did
a
you-
job and call anybody by the wrong name? Or
Did
no,
you-
I actually know everyone at work's name. I'm doing really well there.
Oh,
It's
that's
exciting.
pretty much all you got to do. That's all I figure you have to do to excel at a job. Like when the review comes up or your 6-month review, you know, you're just like, well, I mean, I got everybody's names down. What else do you want?
Did you dream about steaks sweeping up and cleaning your house?
No, I didn't.
Because that was on
But
the
I-
damn Jumbotron.
I did notice that it connected to the episode's theme.
It did?
Sort of.
Don't
I mean,
you-
yes. I feel people are reading too much into
they were
these cartoons
grilling
connecting to the.
steaks and parts of.
Well, they're grilling Bugalo.
Okay.
So
there
I
are
didn't even
buffalo
connect
steaks.
that.
How do you even know that's not a buffalo steak in that cartoon?
Well,
It
'cause-
wasn't.
Okay.
It was
That's how I know.
The-
Tom.
the cartoon was called The Emerald Isle. It was from 1949, and it's just a cartoon about Ireland.
Wait.
I don't know why at some point there
Are
was
you
a-
dropping the D on the end of that word? Is it Emerald Isle or was it Emerald Isle? Like, bam, we're gonna kick it up a notch.
No, I believe I
Oh, my
said
ears.
Emerald Isle.
You didn't. There was no D involved when you said it the first
I
time.
don't like saying my D's on microphone.
I know you don't like the D.
I don't like saying THs when I sing.
I had mixed feelings about that sweeping steak because on the one hand, if your dinner,
Wow.
Pete had mixed feelings about the
Talk
2.5
about going
Well,
deep.
no, but I-
millisecond cartoon at the
because
beginning
on
of
the surface of it, it would be great if not only did your dinner nourish you, like it cleaned your fucking house. On the other hand, if you had a nice chop of meat that swept up your house, it's probably going to be covered in filth. And then,
and unrefrigerated for a while.
yeah, well, dry aged.
On Saturdays, Pete hires me to be a nice chop of meat to come and sweep up his house.
Yeah, but you look really good in the French maid uniform.
For all we know, it could have
hangs
been-
really nicely.
It could have been a
Thank you.
metaphor for how Irish.
Tom adds extra syllables to the word Irish.
I mean, true to form with the rest
And a
of these
D.
Jumbotron
I forgot what I was
cartoons,
saying
total
right now.
bullshit because it should have been a potato.
Maybe at another point in that cartoon, it was a potato.
But that
You
has
say
nothing to
potato,
do with
I say emerald.
bungalow.
And with that, let's
No, I don't
venture
think so.
forward into this problematic episode. Oh,
Nah.
Who liked it?
This episode, yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty good. It's
I
not,
like
it's not
this
a great one.
episode.
It's a good one.
I like the next one better, but
I don't mean problematic.
next one?
Like
the one where Leela plays baseball.
Oh yeah, that's one of the better ones for sure. One of the best.
Whatever.
I don't mean problematic. Like there's problems with the story or the narrative. I just mean some of the characterizations are a little cringy this far out from when it was made.
Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah, we can get there right now. They've come to the Wong place.
That's hilarious.
It's a nice pun. And initially I was excited because I thought it was going to be like a Westworld knockoff and, predating the HBO show now, but the Yul Brynner movie. Like,
Yeah, they
that
could've.
would have been good. And I don't know enough about the source material there to say whether there's a lot of overlap, but I was hopeful.
I watched the first 10 minutes of that movie.
I think I was disappointed though.
Yeah, I don't think I like the original.
I did. I turned it off when I realized it wasn't The King and I. It's the only movie I like Yul Brynner in.
His pronunciation of etc. It's magical.
Let my people go. That's a good
That is not at all in The King and I.
No, but isn't Yul Brynner in Ten Commandments?
Well, I mean,
He might be.
I don't think so.
Yeah, isn't he the Pharaoh?
He might be.
Maybe.
he was the English teacher.
Talking about whitewashing, right?
Yeah. Well, on that note, Mr. Wong especially, we've discussed this a lot before on various episodes, and you've cut most of it out of those episodes, Tom.
I don't know if that's true. Is that true?
He's cut it, yeah.
Some of it.
Yeah. Billy West as Mr. Wong is very ching-chongy. And I get what he's doing, and I suppose that it's at least consistent, but it does seem very exaggerated. And the fact that he's not an Asian actor pulling off that thing is really weird.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? When I was watching it, I thought about Michael Scott's Ping. And I think you brought
yeah,
that up,
man.
and I might have cut that out of some episode.
sure you
for-
did.
It was probably for time. But
It was the wrong time for that to be in the episode, is what you mean. I mean, it's not that far off from Khan on King of the Hill, which Toby Huss did. And
Yeah.
it's basically the same thing. And I was trying to reconcile where does a stereotype in a characterization end and become just its own thing, but it's still kind of fucking weird.
I think there's levels. Have you ever seen Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Yeah, that shit's racist as hell.
Exactly. So I mean, we've come a long way from
Well,
that.
sure.
Who does Mrs. Wong's voice? I didn't.
Lauren
see.
Tom.
Oh.
So she's
Yeah.
actually Asian. I mean, she's like 5 degrees less problematic.
Well,
It's
a
a
lot more
very
degrees.
it's
Yeah.
very over the top Like I see.
Well, I have to say that I just looked it up, and Yul Brynner is
Mrs.
Pharaoh.
Wong?
And
He is in.
You're vindicated.
well, good night. That's all I had to do. I learned everybody's names. I came up with a fact, and
See you later. No, I see what you're saying.
It's just it's. I mean, we can talk about it for the whole rest of the episode because it doesn't get any better. I don't know.
They point fun at it, you know.
They do. I mean, they really become more like the pushy parents than anything else, like shoving the smoking cowboy on Amy and whatnot. I have an analogy in mind. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, but I just the whole thing, like they have their funny moments, but I find it really hard to parse out what's just like funny and what's funny because they're being like ching-chongy.
Well, what about Zoidberg? I mean,
no. Our one or was Aaron our?
I'm Jewish.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
now you
so-
can divide the. So what about we had one person representing?
That's not true.
What? Who else?
No, I don't think we need to point people out, but I know that like
No, I'm saying Aaron said it was okay. I asked her.
We're
she
not-
spoke on behalf of all Jewish people.
we're not
until
here to
today.
out people for anything.
Are you
She
offended
said
by
it on the
Zoidberg?
podcast. Who's outing anybody?
Don't tell anyone we're Jewish. No.
You may actually want that to,
Yeah.
right now. That's
Depending on how
probably a
things
safe
go.
strategy.
But no, Zoidberg is an exaggeration of a very true type that
Oh,
exists.
for sure. But he's also poor. He's also smelly. He's also
You're-
got ink sacs.
But that's
Keep
not.
going.
That is
okay,
nothing.
the ink sac
I
thing,
mean,
maybe, but
he's also a different species. Like the Wongs are human, or I
good
mean,
point.
right.
like
well,
they're Martian, but they're humanoid. I
They're
guess.
Martian nationalities.
And also, I feel stupid talking about race when there's like 4 Caucasian people sitting around here talking about
just
this. Like,
trying to be sensitive to it
Right.
because it's
but also think back. In the early 2000, this technically it was original air date was March 3rd, 2002.
good year.
Back then, honestly,
everybody
like,
was supposed to hate
it-
Arabic people. I get
well,
it.
no, the like push to have actual like the more diversity of acting and everything like that wasn't
No, I know,
like
I
the way it
know.
was now.
I mean, it is. Nobody thought Mickey Rooney was being anything other than funny in Breakfast at Tiffany's when they made that. I mean, now I say that nobody thought that. A lot of Asian people probably thought it was not funny at all, but nobody asked them. And 17 years ago, it was a similar situation. It wasn't as. I mean, really, I forget the character's name, but when during was it Raging Bender when the Fly, the karate instructor, like that was way more. I mean, so yes, it was an alien, but it was clearly like
A stereotypical
Yeah.
or what's the other? I don't know what the other word I was thinking of.
I mean, it's really one of those things where it's like the people that made this show were so smart. So I
Yeah,
don't
and we
think it
haven't
was their
even
intention
gotten
to be
to-
like shitty. But it's like
the symbolistic Native American.
Yeah.
oh,
character
for sure,
in
for
this
sure. That's in there.
episode.
Like I said, the whole episode is kind of problematic. It's just a. I don't know how much of a pass to give it. Like 17 years ago, nobody was really thinking about it that was working in the production of this show. Or maybe there was like one Asian guy on the show that was like, no, it's fine. And they're like, okay, cool.
I don't know. They make a lot of very direct jokes that are almost like they're parodying the fact that Billy is doing this accent because, we own the whole Western hemisphere. He's like, that's the best hemisphere. And he's like, oh, yep, you're right. Like, come on. I mean, they're,
The professor says on Earth too, or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same on Earth. I think they're really, I don't know.
But really, what about Wong's doorbell?
It's great.
Is that
I forget what it was.
it's like a cowboy type slide guitar
Oh yeah.
sound.
That's kind of nice. Did they ever enumerate why Mars Day is better than Earth Day? Or is it just that everything the Wongs own or
Because
involved in is better than anything else?
There's so much
because they're
room
like-
on Mars, you can throw trash anywhere.
That's the only reason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earth Day, you
It's like
are conscious of the
yeah.
planet. Mars Day, it doesn't matter because it's so big.
It's not a do-gooder day on Mars. It's a party day.
It could be a party day here.
Oh, boy.
It is a party day. I have a blast planting trees and scrubbing up my carbon footprint.
I don't think you planted any trees this year. You were planning to, and then you didn't.
I don't like Asian people. Are we still talking about that?
Yeah. Zoidberg is pretty
That's in my
hilarious
notes.
in this episode.
He's
right from the
great.
He's got a
beginning.
lot of good
Oh
lines.
yeah, he is the absolute worst house guest you could imagine with his Dom Perignon bubble bath.
I mean, that happened so quickly in the first scene.
He broke a television before even finished it. Like he's just on a rampage.
The whole line about the broken television is awesome, though. Like the placement of it.
He's a
Oh yeah.
Growing in a
Yeah.
bugaloo shell. It's just
'Cause
like
she's
this
just like-
take,
he's just
you
like-
know?
Just like him inviting himself in, like ruining stuff of theirs, and then pretending he's part of the family, and then that just like I broke your yeah.
They do make great rowboat shells though.
That's what I've heard.
I
I said this when Sebastian was on and Bugalo came up. One time, I think it was in Jordy. Do you know where
I know where we're talking about.
I saw a picture of a big beetle of some kind, and it was black and white, shell like that or whatever. It was like dead, and it was already starting to like have stuff ooze out of it. I took a picture of it, and I said when I mentioned this on the podcast before that I would post a picture of it,
And we
so this
did.
time I did.
Yeah, we did.
I did.
months ago.
I found it, and then I reposted
Oh.
it on the
All
Slurmcast
right. Well,
page.
look for that somewhere in the
Go through our
ether.
whole feed and like every post, and then you can stop when you get to that one.
So wait, you found a real beetle that was black and white?
Yeah, it was black
that
and white
looked
like a cow,
bugalo?
like a bugalo.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have to repost that. Cause
All right, I'll find it.
that
You didn't
sounds-
even try to figure out what kind of beetle
Fascinating.
it was, and you work in a job where you kill beetles for a
This was
living.
years ago.
It's a dead ant in blackface, is what he found.
The way that the Wongs marked things is not theirs because it was easier than marking all the things that were. So they had the brand that said "not property of Wongs."
Hermes was very polite. Please don't do that.
He was. I mean, do you think that added or removed
He
value
respected
from
that.
his?
No, he respected that move, though.
But
'cause-
he didn't appreciate it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they ruined his briefcase.
I mean, that's very efficient. If you're branding things that you don't own, that's something Hermes would definitely respect.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You should always worry about your exceptions and set up everything so that it runs smoothly for your regular cases. There was a big exterior shot where they show the Nimbus, introducing Kif and Zap again. And something that occurred
Which is
to me.
great. I mean, it's cool that we get a lot of Kif in this episode, but it's nice that Zap shows up like a couple times sparingly,
Just being his usual asshole self.
I
with some
mean,
great
Kif
lines.
only just uses up extra charisma from Zap.
Well, but
Yeah.
this is just something of an aside related to the Nimbus because I'd never noticed it before. Did you
Oh, the
ever-
face? I don't think I've never noticed that before either. Is that what you're gonna say?
No. Did you ever see Real Monsters?
Real Monsters from Nickelodeon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the one
With the ears?
that
that
held
held the
his
eyes.
eyeballs in his hands and he had like crazy armpit hair sticking out? The Nimbus looks like that.
I've thought about that before.
Really?
Like it's not a 1-to-1 thing, but their design is close enough that it like. And I haven't watched that cartoon.
Maybe there's an
in 20
animator
years.
involved in both of them somewhere, along the way.
It's possible.
I like
It's
that
actually pretty
shot
likely.
though because the shot was very Star Trek: The Next
Oh,
Generation.
totally.
Oh, yeah.
And then coming into the window,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
good.
I find it weird that they put windows on spaceships like that.
Why wouldn't you want to look out at space?
Well, I would think you'd want to look, but you would also want to be
To
like
touch?
better protected than a flimsy sheet of glass.
just wait till the
A
episode
flimsy-
when
Do you think on a spaceship they have a flimsy sheet of glass?
Well, it's probably
in
like
the
a
year
couple.
3000?
It's like a
You don't
double or
think
triple plane.
At least they're in space. The submarines have a flimsy. Well, I guess they don't have
They don't
window.
have
Well, they have
windows.
portholes, right, on the
With
submarine.
screens on them, so
They do. And
whales have blowholes?
yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Tom has made a good point. End of conversation.
Moving on.
What, fuck, I
Vanilla
forgot what I was
corn.
gonna say.
I didn't get that part.
What's that?
When they were like at the like the
The
barbecue,
jamboree.
and there was the DJ.
Mixmaster Festus.
I actually got that reference.
I didn't
I'm really
get- okay.
embarrassed. Festus, he says, just call me
Mixmaster Festus.
Yeah, well, I heard Festus, and Festus is a character on Gunsmoke
Oh,
It's like an old timey hillbilly name.
or Bonanza, Gunsmoke, one of those.
One of them,
Same.
yeah, either one.
I mean-
I feel
either
like
way,
they were
it's-
as a spin-off of one of them.
It was Gunsmoke.
Okay,
It could have been Mixmaster.
thank you for
Haas.
that.
My grandma wants
For that trivia. Yeah, I had
Is
the
there a band named Gunsmoke? Because that's a cool.
I had a
band
Nintendo, I had the
name.
Nintendo game, the NES Gunsmoke game. It was fucking awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. It was one of my favorite Nintendo games.
What did you do?
It was kind of one of those overhead screens where you walked and then the guys were coming at you from above, but they were in front of you, and then you just like shot them and you got cool different guns, and
I know what you're talking
Do
about.
you remember that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who are you shooting? Rustlers or Native
Yeah,
Americans?
probably.
I was gonna say
both. I don't remember. It's been so long, but there's a good
You're
chance.
you're shooting problematic stereotypes.
Sorry.
I mean,
They had scruffy beards and were holding guns. That's all I remember.
They
Sounds like a
certainly weren't
rustler.
the terrorists in all the video games now that are totally acceptable to murder in beautiful graphics.
Really, I haven't shot anybody in a video game that wasn't a zombie in I don't know how many years.
You only play the zombie levels?
what if they were a Wario?
Did you like how at the barbecue they had a truck full of barbecue sauce and Pepto-Bismol for?
I didn't even notice.
Pete,
that.
don't answer
Oh.
that. He doesn't have to answer that.
You
I-
Next question.
You
Lead-
didn't
it's
notice
leading.
that Fry put Pepto onto his?
I thought it was some kind of pink sauce.
You didn't notice the trucks?
No.
Oh, I thought
Oh.
you'd have a lot to say about
Yeah,
that.
they pulled up like two tanker trucks, and one was barbecue sauce, and the other was Pepto-Bismol for the
Was it-
barbecue.
Okay, why did you think I'd notice that?
Because you're-
I'd be like, yes,
because
that's
you're
awesome.
Yeah.
old and you have heartburn and upset
and you
stomach
love barbecue
from eating
sauce
things.
and
That doesn't happen to me.
really? Oh, it happens to me all the time. I
Yeah.
sleep with a bottle of Pepto-Bismol next to my bed and have for years.
You have
crap.
an atrocious diet. Listening to this show, you have. What do you?
Does
eat?
it come up on here? Oh, yeah, I do. Do we talk about my diet?
I mean, we
You have.
we talk about rallies and checkers a lot because they should give us
I still
money
have that
and we love them.
free. That
You should check and make sure that didn't expire. I used mine.
oh damn! And only if once you sign up, it's only 25 minutes that you can use.
But I'll
it,
tell-
and
I'll
then
tell
it
you what,
explodes.
They I don't even know if it still works, but I was on Twitter and Rallies posted a thing that if you texted a number, they'd send you a coupon for a free Big Buford. And so I
and that number is 216-438-1077.
and you all did it, and that worked.
no, I did it and it worked. So then I
Oh,
told
yeah,
them
that's right.
and I
remember
said,
that
text, you have to text the word bold to this number. And then Horchie texts me back, bold. I said, no, you dummy. Text the other number. Why? Just do it. And then it was like Christmas. And they'll every once in a while now, they send you other things.
I didn't bother. I just had sex with Riley's parents, and then you're in.
Exactly.
Well, I texted that number, and I had a very eventful night at the Holiday Inn.
Not me, because I'm tiny, meek, and
and
uninteresting.
speaking of unhealthy things, you notice RJ?
Oh wow,
yeah.
what a hottie! You know,
Yeah.
like, just real.
Did he
American.
do it for you?
It's just
Okay,
so
Mary
ridiculous.
Bankill, RJ, Joe Camel, and Kiff.
He didn't say his name was Joe Camel. He just said it was
Yeah, he did.
Joe.
Just Joe.
They didn't
Joe.
say Joe Camel. They just
No, they
said
just
Joe.
said
Really?
Joe.
and he had an
Kids
antenna
love
on
him.
top of his head.
To make him an alien, so it wasn't just a talking camel. Then.
So how did he get to Mars?
Ooh.
how did I get to your house? What do you mean? How did he get
how
to
did
Mars?
who? Which
Joe.
who? Joe.
Joe Camel.
Did you also know there was another part where they had like a whole bunch of like,
Practice. That's how you get to Mars, right?
severed
Carnegie Mars.
things that looked like part of what Joe's head was. I don't remember what part it was.
Yeah, he had a little antenna on his head, so
Yeah.
he's like,
He's probably a
An
Martian
alien?
or an alien.
And he's some
of
alien.
something.
That's how they
Yeah.
that's how they explain having this
Do you
walking
think
cartoon characters.
RJ
He's an alien,
But
Is
he
it
was
Martian?
just
playing
like Joe Camel,
pool
but
at
he
the
has that
jazz
little
club.
antenna.
And that was,
and the kids love him.
is he still a thing?
No,
Smoke.
no.
Well, I haven't smoked in like 15 years. So now when I see cigarettes at the store, I just think, how do
Teenagers
people
smoke and they
even
seem pretty on the
afford that
ball.
fucking habit? But like, I mean, I collected so much Camel Cash when I
Me
was a
too.
young smoker.
And Marlboro Miles.
And I probably still have a bunch of
You
like
could buy a
engraved
jet ski
Zippo
right now.
lighters lying around the house that just hidden in various places.
In Cincinnati, there is a collection. Someone has a collection of Camel.
Is it at the
mascot-
Creation Museum?
No, that would be great, but it's not. It's actually in a hotel in downtown Cincinnati, and you can go and you can see
Oh, Camel
it.
merchandise?
It's all Camel merchandise from the very beginning to the very end, and it's all Joe Camel. It's crazy.
That had to
Some of
be.
I gotta
that
look that
stuff
up.
is crazy. There's actual like dolls, like children's dolls that they gave.
These are Joe Camel microphones we're using right now.
That
Are they?
had
Yeah.
to be like an
Quality.
estate
They're
sale,
refreshing and smooth.
like out. Like somebody was just like,
It's an art hotel. It's an art hotel. It's called 21C. There, just plugged them. Give me a free night, guys.
I only smoke Chatterton cigarettes.
so
Nazi Dr. Leo Spacemin. I want them to know.
I love that character so much.
Yeah. Oh, that show.
How about poor Kiff trying to smoke? That was sad. I felt bad for him.
I felt sick when he got sick because I remember being a kid and
Have you ever done that?
yeah, and
Oh, it's the worst.
when you got nauseous from smoking.
no
and,
smoking out of the wrong.
Oh yeah, or
end.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
That's not good either.
Done that a
it's
lot of times.
painful. And then RJ's like, "You're pathetic." Poor Kiff.
When
You know what was
Yeah.
weird is seeing a character. I know it's a primetime show or whatever. I mean, I guess shows still do that if it's like a primetime show, but just seeing a character smoke that much, like on a cartoon. I mean, you just didn't really see that. No, you know what? I guess Patty
don't
and
see
Selma
it
smoked
anymore.
all the time.
Who
Patty and Selma.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they're
Well,
always
yeah.
chain smoking.
is we've talked about this before, and so now it's a second time it's come up on the show. They were just going to town on bugs. They were eating bugs.
Did that happen on a different? On
It
another
happened on
episode, or-
something, and it made me wonder again. Like at some point, insect protein is going to become like a viable source of
Oh
food.
yeah, after we
What will it take?
all the pollinators are dead and all the can't grow vegetables anymore and yeah.
we're gonna be eating like roach steaks and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So have
Like
you
on
ever
that
eaten
horrible
bugs
movie,
before on
Snowpiercer.
purpose? I'm not talking about like the 7 spiders you swallow every year in your sleep, but like here's some walking cricket tacos. You ever gotten into that?
I've only had them in candy form.
like chocolate
Okay.
covered.
like encased in chocolate or
Yeah.
But
in
there's
like a
still
lollipop.
there's still bugs.
It's still a bug. But the best was when I ate the worm in a mezcal bottle.
I've
Oh,
never
that
done
can't
that.
be good.
No,
did it
it's
fuck you
not.
up?
I don't recommend it, especially if you haven't eaten dinner and you choose to eat the worm in a mezcal.
Well, did you
So
drink
it
the rest
worked,
of the
right? It really,
bottle to
like-
get to the worm?
No,
or was
no,
it
no,
just,
no. It was like whoever, it's like in the bar, whoever
Yeah.
gets to the end, it's yours. And
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, I want that.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't do it.
Bad
no way
move.
am I eating a worm.
Bad move. It was delicious.
Really?
Well, okay,
Oh,
so
yeah, I
what?
guess-
It just
I mean,
tasted like
yeah, like
liquor.
Okay. Yeah.
but then what were the after effects?
Pretty lurid. Kind of like Kiff, actually, after he smoked, pretty much.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Turned
That-
yellow.
Oh,
That
I
can't
thought
be
you were gonna
good.
say because I mean, is that a urban legend that when you drink it, it gets
Yeah.
you super drunk? Or
Yeah, I think, it's hard to say because I had been drinking.
Was already yeah.
But I did definitely get sick,
Yeah.
like within an hour. So
That well.
I think
worth
the whole
it. Still worth it.
the whole
No,
thing
I
about
think if
that
anything,
is
just
like,
for being able to say you did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Won't do it again, but I did it.
there's somewhere in my basement I have a jar, not a jar, it's a bottle of Okinawan rice whiskey that has a dead rattlesnake inside it, and it's like this thing
Wow.
that is drunk over in
And
various parts
we're
of
how
Asia.
many episodes into this podcast and you have not pulled that out?
Yeah, I might be
a
able to
good
What are
find
you
it when we're
waiting
done.
Yeah.
for?
Can
Well,
we
the-
go get it? and
You should
pause
show
it?
that to every guest when they walk in. Like, check this out.
The problem is
and then like a
once you
black light like skeleton behind you. Like,
once you open it up, you have to drink all of it because the snake will start to rot. Like it basically the rice wine preserves it, because it's pickling it. But once it gets exposed to air, it starts to
Are you supposed
disintegrate.
to eat it though? Is that
No,
part of
you're
it?
supposed to drink the whiskey because it gives you boners. Apparently, there's a lot of stuff like that in Asia, as I understand. Tiger.
that has been my opposite experience with whiskey of any kind.
This is rice whiskey, so gluten free. Number one.
Mhm.
It's also Asian,
Mhm.
In this case, Okinawan, but I believe there's other cultures that also, have their snake whiskey and whatnot. They'll
Yeah.
make it with scorpions and shit in it too. Like it's just.
Okay.
But do they say you can't eat it?
I don't think it would be very good.
Let's get it.
I'll
eat it.
No, it's not going to get opened. I need to save it for
bummer.
the zombie apocalypse because then I can barter when guys run out of Cialis and Viagra. I can be like, I got Okinawan boner whiskey, and then sell it for brains.
Pete's
per
always
shot or
thinking
something.
ahead.
Or you
Yeah.
You got everything planned out.
drink it and then use the rattlesnake as a weapon and throw it at someone.
I don't think it would work. I think the snake itself is pretty
I'd be
disintegrated.
terrified if somebody threw a rattlesnake at me, no matter if it was in a bottle of rice wine or not.
Well, if it was in a bottle of rice wine, it would probably fucking hurt because you'd have a big bottle.
That's not going to cause any boners.
No, unless it hits it just in the right spot.
Speaking of boners, Zoidberg took the liberty of fertilizing their caviar.
Oh, I missed that. Was that in this episode?
Yes,
And
that's
just-
like
And the
Maybe
look on the
my-
Wong's faces.
just that pause.
He was just
So-
chewing and then
Yes.
just stopped.
And then he chews again, and then he stops again. It's just comedy gold.
So I guess tying back to our fun problematic theme, the Wongs bought Mars from the native Martians for 1 bead, which is, I think, going back to the apocryphal story of the Dutch buying the island of Manhattan from the natives for $25 in beads and whatnot. Number one, has that ever been actually proven? That sounds like a kind of urban legend sort
I've
of
never
thing.
even heard that before.
You've never heard that story?
Nope.
That's like a frequent topic in various and sundry bathroom readers, Tom. Like you should have learned that years ago.
All I remember is that the Louisiana Purchase wasn't as great as that Thomas Jefferson thought it was going to be.
That's
I
true.
know because they got Boca Raton in it. And who wants to go there?
Right.
Yeah.
Wolf Cola.
What?
Nothing. Never mind. That is
Is
a
that
totally
is that an
different
inside joke that
It's Always Sunny reference.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Has Kif
don't be sorry about making all these funny references.
has Kif displayed his camouflage reflex before?
I don't think so. I was
I
like,
feel like it's the first time.
I think this is the first time. But I like his quote when he's like all worried and he says, "Oh, odds and Bogdans."
Odds and bodkins.
Yeah, what does that mean?
British people say it. It means it's like instead of saying like it's like HE double hockey sticks.
Oh.
So I wrote it down. Gods and bodkins is like it's like God's body. But
Huh.
you can't say God's body.
God, I hate this thing. Sorry.
Or you can't say God's wounds, you say zwoons. These are old contractions. Wow, I'm really showing my 19th century history here.
I mean,
Is it like P's and Q's or
no, that's
No,
isn't
no,
that
it's like
pints and quarts.
you
I
can't
don't
say
know.
God, so you have to say odds and bodkins because it sounds like God's body.
But that's a really shitty curse too.
Well, it's old timey.
Yeah, but I mean, what's there's a lot of really good old timey insults and things, and leave it to the British to fuck it up.
My favorite is calling someone an onion cutter.
That one's really good.
Deep cut.
There's one. Bill Squire has a bit about that where
Old timey insults.
yeah, old timey insults where it's just like after a while, like those words stop meaning things, and I think like the one that he uses to illustrate the point is slubberdigullion.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, yeah, like I don't even know how that would put together. Like it's more syllables than you'd need to just be like, oh shit, or even oh fiddlesticks. But Oggs and Bodkins
Odds and bodkins, yeah.
that's
It's perfect for Kif though. It's such a like
it is.
yeah.
Yeah,
I want him to
a
cuss
Nancy
like that,
way
you know?
to
yeah, it's a very
yeah.
yes. And then what about when she's like, "Oh, do you need a tissue? I'll go get it from your tote." Because he's crying.
Brittany, do you think Kif is cool? Do you like
no,
him?
no,
you
I don't
think-
understand why Amy
Okay, I was going to ask you
likes
that.
him so much, and I don't understand why she just thinks everything's gonna be okay too. Like oh, they're
Like
gonna
between
love
them,
you.
or-
Like
oh, okay.
like she tells it like they're gonna love you and stuff.
I think
Maybe she's just an asshole and she's
maybe
like-
she's just boosting his confidence because she knows that he's all bummed about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just pictured her being more malicious and just on a subconscious level, just like because she's selfish, and just like this will be entertaining to me if But that can't be true because she does like him a lot.
She's
so.
kind of stupid too.
Oh yeah, but there's
So
that.
you guys have gone
That-
over that.
Yeah.
And clumsy. But
Yeah.
Not scholastically though. She's not stupid scholastically.
She's book smart. She's just not.
Yeah.
She's also rich, like been filthy rich her entire life. So she's.
What's my excuse for being stupid?
Your parents convince you were filthy rich.
I was wondering about this. Like, this is like a spoiler for another show. How about this? I won't say what show it is on mic. I'm gonna pause this for 1 second. So there's this other show, and I'll avoid the spoiler alert by not telling you what show it is. But there's a character who's kind of a scumbaggy type guy, and he hooks up with like a really, really smart Asian chick who has really, really rich parents. And she keeps bugging him and bugging him and bugging him to go to dinner with them. And he's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. He finally does it. So then the parents come, and the only thing they can do is start offering him money to not date their daughter anymore. Like they're just like,
Wow.
we'll give you $5,000 to stop seeing her. We'll give you $10,000. And so he backs out at like 10 grand. And then the parents leave. And then later on, she comes back and she's like, I told you to hold out for 15. So like, I feel like Amy is kind of in this same boat where she's just like, it's okay that my parents don't like you because if they did, and
Well,
she
she
says
says
it. She
that
says
at
if
the
they
end,
did,
yeah.
I would check out. But
Yeah.
like she genuinely seems to like him, and maybe because he's not. Well, number one, she's demonstrated in her sex positive way an affinity for like weird others. Like there's the episode where she goes off with the super intelligent Cloud and stuff like that.
And then she dates
And
Fry,
Fry.
for a while, and
But with Kiff, like she really seems to like him because he's just a nice guy and he's not an alpha. He's not some weird macho creep. It's almost like what's the time frame between this and Frasier? Because Kiff is basically Niles.
I don't know, when did Frasier come out? 1983.
No, I feel like this is like towards the end of Frasier.
But they would have been contemporaries,
Well, I mean,
right?
everyone knows who. Yeah,
Okay. I like even the portrayal is kind of like David Hyde Pierce.
And Fry is a lot like Eddie.
A little
The
bit.
dog.
As an aside, just got back from Seattle. Not one restaurant had tossed salads and scrambled eggs on the menu together. It's fucking bullshit.
sad.
What does that have to do with this episode?
It doesn't.
Doesn't it has to do with the shortcomings of the Pacific Northwest.
Oh. Did you see the park bench that they have the Kurt Cobain statue on?
No.
No. What?
But I saw that Kiff has a nudie
that new?
suit.
I don't know.
When Kiff goes cattle wrestling, he's got like a full on, like super embroidered nudie suit, and he's ready to go.
Except he needs a neckerchief from Mrs. Wong.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like he'd carry that around in his tote.
I do really like how much Zoidberg really wants to be a part of the Wong family.
Yeah, he won't let it go.
Because they're super rich. And he's super poor.
What about when he's on the golf cart, the hover golf cart?
And just like, he probably crashed it right after that off camera. Just collateral damage from the Zoidberg.
Probably.
And Professor's only like lines in this are about suing for mental anguish and then making Leela Bender and Fry go because someone's gonna die on
Yeah.
the mission.
Which was great. He's just like, you're all disposable.
So the sandstorm comes.
Well, before that, just
Mhm.
real quick.
Yeah.
Does Mrs. Wong have a pot leaf on her hat?
Yes.
I have that question too. Do you know?
I
the
didn't
answer?
sure?
notice that.
Yes. In the Mars University episode, they say it was things were planted, normal college stuff. It was like something, ivy trees and hemp. So, and then from there they terraformed Mars. So hemp was a big thing to terraform because it started, Mars University is what started
The Wong.
Mars. Yeah.
Oh, the whole colonization. And
right.
everything?
Yeah.
They actually show it briefly when the storm comes
Right,
through at the
right.
end. Yeah.
Yeah. the sandstorm when it blows over.
So that is a pot leaf.
Yes, it is a pot
But is
leaf.
that like their school symbol kind of thing?
I
Who
don't
knows?
think
No.
so.
what Mars University? What's their slogan?
Fear,
Knowledge brings fear.
Yeah. So
So good.
but the whole sandstorm, that noise is a bunch of the actors, actually probably Billy West and John DiMaggio doing throat.
Oh, you're doing like the Tibetan monk?
Yeah. And the same thing with the Bugalo is Billy West just doing like,
Clicking.
yeah,
on
like
it.
clicking
Makes
and
sense.
everything you could do.
Guy's amazing.
What about the spider horses?
Oh,
Like-
oh man.
The spiders from Mars.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe oh man.
But were they from Mars or were they brought to Mars?
I don't know. I like to think that they're
I think
spiders
they're
from
raised
Mars.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, if they went somewhere else, they would have been spiders.
Well, they get
from
a
Mars.
pass.
how great would it have been if there was like some little David Bowie reference in that episode? Like,
I think-
other than that,
I think she just brought it up.
I mean,
yeah.
other than that, like not direct, but or
We should get Brittany on our podcast.
She knows all those David Bowie references.
I would be too worried the spider would, be a spider.
Leela liked him. She pet him. She's like, nice coat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the hair,
Oh,
thick.
the little hairs.
Yeah.
my note says, "Ha, spiders are horses."
was Fry being unable to see the giant mountain just Fry being dumb, or is that a callback to something else?
No, that was just him being
Like
Fry.
what? Huh?
It was like being a dumb tourist.
Where?
You know, like when you go, have you ever been on a group tour with a bunch of noisy Americans? And the tour guide goes in there and they're like, what's she pointing at? What?
I've avoided
that.
those with my entire being.
As well you should.
It's mostly because I hate amblers and mosiers, and if I can't extend my legs in a full stride when I'm trying to walk somewhere, which is, I mean, just in the airport or whatever, like it makes me want to punch people.
You
so,
should just ride a spider.
well, being
Amblers and Mosiers. What did you just call me? Was that an old timey insult?
yeah, somebody who's just lollygagging around and moseying, like in the grocery store, you hit that.
Yeah, I was
a
at the
lot.
grocery store. A bunch of Amblers and Mosiers.
It's the worst. It's
Can
the
I-
worst.
Can I read you the note on Infosphere about the goof about the Olympus Mons
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Mars?
Yeah,
Okay. While Olympus Mons is the tallest volcano in the solar system, it actually has a very slight slope and doesn't look like a normal Earth mountain. If one is on or close to it, climbing Olympus Mons would be most similar to walking up a very slightly inclined plane. Furthermore, Olympus Mons is roughly spherical in footprint, but some 350 miles in diameter. Even if the climb would be essential a flat trail, it would be take over a week or even a fit hiker. Disregard breathing the unbreathable Martin atmosphere and
the
low
unbreathable
gravity. Blah,
Martin
blah, blah.
ass.
Yes. Blah blah blah. So somebody just claiming about how that is just so scientifically inaccurate.
Wow.
That's what I want
And
to
then-
see from Futurama
That's
fans.
my
writing
job.
down the Wikipedia.
Then there's notes after that that says
like
the
addendums
mountain.
to it.
Yes, the mountain does have a fairly steep encarcement around part of the edge of the volcano shield. This is in place up to 5 miles high. This feature would be recognizable as a mountain flank, and by itself about as tall as the tallest mountain on Earth. And then this issue was addressed in the episode as an inside joke.
It was addressed in the episode.
It's apparently just an
Did they
inside
make a joke
joke
about it?
between the writers
Oh,
about
that. How it's
that.
not like that.
That it's just like
I hate nerds. That's the worst.
No, that's what I want from my Futurama. Also, a great Pixie song.
sure.
Also, I don't think it's scientifically feasible to get the Bugalo out of that volcano the way they did.
Oh yeah, no.
Does Kip say that
Unless
he
it was some kind
tried
of
it
compression
before
bomb, but
on
they said
something
dynamite.
else?
Oh, it
Bender
was,
Bender did, didn't he?
Yeah, no,
No,
it was. He
it was
used,
Kip. He said that he had
Oh, that's right. He had done it
Blown-
to oh shit.
I remember. Oh, before that though. Well, while you're looking at that, we missed the
Ejecting
whole.
chickens from a sand dune.
yes.
Yes, the whole ghost stories where
the
Bender was
ghost stories,
telling the story about
Yeah.
the Windows logo.
And Fry knows all of them and then gets into the one that ends with the libertarian zombie maniac.
It is a demented, knife-wielding, escaped lunatic libertarian zombie mutant snuck
Oh.
up, and then Amy shows up.
Ah.
To give him a kiss? Lame.
They're still throwing digs at that third party at this point, aren't they? Is that what all of these libertarian jokes are? Because there's been a few other ones, or the third party jokes.
Yeah,
Is
because
this what
back then it was like the third party was like where all the uninformed voters wanted to go vote. But now they just vote Republican.
This is in the wake of Nader, yeah,
in 2000.
Oh yeah.
So and he wasn't even libertarian.
Who I threw my vote away on when I was 18. Thank you.
You're
Which is why I kind of.
Hey, he invented seatbelts. He didn't really invent
No,
seatbelts.
just go with it. Maybe they'll add it to the Wikipedia page. Yes, that's right.
I heard it on the internet. Must be true.
I also like when Kif and Amy are laying out later, and she's asking him. Yeah, he starts talking about how tough he's feeling in Manly. He's
I got blisters.
I'm spitting.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anyone about my feelings, but you're still having them, right? Yes, but I keep them inside until I can write them down in my diary later.
And then he thinks they might have just made
Oh
love.
yeah. That's
From the
earth.
Adorable.
Earthquakes.
It's adorable.
Okay.
From the
God damn
earthquake.
it.
Sorry.
Well, so wouldn't that? There isn't. Maybe this isn't the case, but when they were on the planet of the Amazonians, didn't they take advantage of him, or was he able to successfully escape them all?
I'm pretty sure he was on the ceiling most of the time.
Well, maybe he just got out from under one and then scrambled up there, because by the time they even went in to look, like Fry and Zap are already just beaten to a pulp.
That's true.
So I mean, you would think he'd kind of understand the mechanics, or maybe he just functioned mechanically in a way that was satisfying to the Amazonians without really scratching his own itches.
That's true. Because you don't even know yet how Kif.
He's a series of bladders,
but you don't know how he reproduces yet.
I don't know that.
Oh,
Do I find out?
Yes, we find out.
you do.
Okay, I'll take your word
Right
for
now, when we tell you so.
It. No.
Let me just say, if you think who the father is, you're not going to guess.
Why
it.
did you do that?
Is it like a Mork and Mindy situation?
Yes.
Yeah.
They adopt an old comedic actor.
Out of an egg.
In a giant egg. Do you remember that egg came out of Robin Williams' chest?
No, I don't remember that really.
No.
Did
Yeah,
it?
like
Out of his chest?
they didn't really show it. It was all
Did he
sort
just
of
kinda
like,
go-
oh, look, I'm pregnant.
I definitely saw that, but I don't remember.
And then he had to hibernate and sit on it and stuff. And then it just got bigger and bigger until it would fit a Jonathan Winters in it.
There's also an episode
Pretty
where
big.
Fry sits on an egg for a while, too. Wow.
It just,
It all comes back around.
have you ever sat on an egg before?
Mm-hmm.
Is it nice? I'm just saying, I'm serious. We could maybe start a thing.
It did not turn into a chicken.
What was it? A chicken egg?
I don't know.
What happened to it?
I scrambled it up.
That's mean. Maybe our butts are too hot for chicken eggs.
Amy gets kidnapped. That's what happens next. That's what's coming
Well,
up.
No, we
No,
gotta
no,
talk
what
about-
No, that
happens-
sound
yeah.
is the barbecue's over sound.
So yeah, Kif attended a seminar in ejecting chickens from a sand dune.
Yes.
Lots of questions about that we
But-
never get any answers
no.
for.
That's
And
the point.
my next note: native Martians,
Okay.
also problematic.
Can I bring up
But
something?
to be fair, Horchie, that's how you get ants out of an anthill, correct?
What?
Is it?
Dynamite?
Dynamite and you blow them all up and they all fly
Yeah, but
out.
you have to have a license, Ohio pest control license for that dynamite. It's a
little tiny ant.
official extermination.
What are these
Dynamite.
dynamites for ants?
We use Tom. We use compression grenades. Dynamite. What is this?
I
The
thought you were
40s?
just supposed to pee into the little hole in the anthill.
Oh, I thought you just molded plastic explosives into little tiny ants.
C4.
Little girl ants with dresses. Yoo-hoo!
That's some
So
Looney
you
Tunes
catch
stuff.
all pests. You mold plastic explosives into the female version
What
of
if,
that
what
pest.
if I showed up to, because we catch animals now too. What if I showed up and just did a Bill Murray accent the whole time? Just
Oh, please.
Make it-
I have to start.
You
I have to do that
it
once,
just
right?
once,
At least.
At least.
And no, I should do it until someone
How,
gets
ma-
it. 'cause I
how
feel
many
like
how many people that you work for, not the company you work for, but like your customers would actually get it?
customers? It's a lot of older people that would not get it.
That's
It would
what I
take a
figured.
while.
You're pest controlling Bill Murray's.
You'll get some guy who's like, that exterminator sounds a lot like the caddy at the country club, because that guy's probably doing it to him too, and he's probably got a whole fleet of people that talk to him like Carl, and doesn't even realize it because he's never seen Caddyshack.
One of my customers is the guy from I can't remember who was the bad guy, and then he was on that TV show. No, man, from Caddyshack, the bad guy, the guy that was the
Ted
villain.
Knight?
Yeah, what was the TV show he was on?
Too Close for Comfort?
He wasn't on Too Close for Comfort.
Phenom.
The Mary Tyler Moore show?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And Too Close for Comfort?
I don't remember Too Close for Comfort.
Well, that's
their point.
Wait. With Jim J. Bullock, you don't remember Too Close for Comfort?
Who's Jim J. Bullock?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I'm just caught up to Empty Nest.
Jim J. Bullock was like the gayest man on television who wasn't gay. He was a confirmed bachelor for years. 4 years.
On which show?
Too Close for Comfort.
Yeah, okay.
And then he hosted a talk show with Tammy Faye Baker.
No, yeah, the guy. No, that's not the same guy. He wasn't. What? He was like the Paul Lynde of the 80s, right? I know what you're talking about. That's not.
Even more Paul Lynde than Paul Lynde. There weren't any ascots involved.
Are we talking about Rodney Dangerfield?
No, he's dead.
Are you talking about the show with Valerie Bertinelli?
No,
The
that's
neighbor?
one day at a time.
Hot for Cleveland?
Yeah, but they had the guy that you're like, even as a little kid, I'm like, that guy, he's,
So you're not even capturing the part where I've pitched a TV show to before with our friends Barrett and Brock Close, they're brothers, and they just bought a house where they live together, and they have like a rental unit, and they would rent the unit to Jim J. Bullock, and they could still call the show Too Close for Comfort, but they'd use the letter 2 or the number 2 instead of the word 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be about the two Close brothers with Jim J. Bullock, and they'd get into all kinds of hijinks. Nobody picked it up. It's a tragedy.
I'm looking this guy up to see if it's who I'm thinking of.
I can't believe you don't know off the top of your head. He was the center square for like 100 years on Hollywood Squares.
Nope. Thinking of somebody else.
Oh my God. Tom, am I crazy? Everybody's looking at their devices
I'm
instead of
not.
engaging. And you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He was a major television personality for easily 15
Yeah,
to
I
20 years.
Let me see.
There was an episode. Those aren't good pictures of him, but I remember him being on the
I've
show.
seen him.
There was an episode where I remember as a little kid, and he was talking about the porn magazines he would read, and I'm like 8, and I'm like, that guy doesn't look at girls. Like, just knew as like a little kid. I'm like, he doesn't,
He talks like the priest at church.
yeah. Yeah, wait. This no, it's not good. But there's like a better, younger picture there.
Oh
Yeah.
That
And-
guy.
Yeah,
The name-
that guy.
The name of the magazine was like Flesh Pot or something like that.
Oh, that can't be right.
What do you mean? That was the what?
Fine. I had to make a note here that Zapp is the worst. Again, because he is. He all of his sort of redemption that had come.
Brittany, do you like Zapp Brannigan?
Zapp Brannigan is the best thing about this show.
Why?
Well,
Well, Pete's just saying he's an asshole. He's not
Oh.
saying like,
He's like an
okay.
unredeemable
as part of his
asshole.
character. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but that's why it's great.
But he's one of your favorites.
Oh my God! In this episode, he has so many great lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So many great. I am the man.
That's one of the best-
with no
yeah.
name.
That's
Zapp
Zapp
Brannigan.
Brannigan.
yeah. I feel like if people are gonna use a soundbite for Zapp, that's in the top like 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really
Just my
happy
best
then.
guess.
That I had this episode because he's by far my favorite character.
I see. That's not an unpopular opinion. It's pretty common, and that's fine.
That's the nicest thing I've ever heard Pete say to someone. That's a compliment from Pete.
But it's something
Thank you,
where he's like the characters on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia are theoretically more reprehensible than Zapp, but somehow maybe not Dennis and maybe not Dee, but like Mac and Charlie are like at least the same caliber of asshole as Zapp and have the same level of like non-self-awareness. but there's something about them that there's like a sweetness that still makes them likable. Am I?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm going so far out on the weeds on this to just like reiterate for the
Zapp's
700th time
like
that I
Larry
don't like
David.
Zapp and he
He's
should have
like-
been played by Phil Hartman. Rest in peace.
What about when what does he say? He says like I didn't realize when Betsy comes up and he's like, God, Betsy won't leave me alone, the Bugaloo. And
Electric 2
yeah,
Bugaloo.
he's like, I didn't know you're bringing your girlfriend, Lieutenant. And he's cracking up at his joke. And then she's like, she won't leave me alone. Oh, no, I mean, your wife. And then,
And then the silent, the tumbleweed was, that was great.
I love a good tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Tumbleweeds are pretty good. Have you ever seen them in real life?
Yep.
It's
Wait, that really happens?
yeah.
I haven't been
In the
out
desert.
west.
No, it's weird.
The first time I saw one, I had a moment of like, oh, it's like a postcard or a cartoon,
Yeah.
like an authenticity that
You-
like
you
exists.
feel like
Never,
such a-
you've never been a guest on this podcast. Tumbleweeds roll by a lot
Oh, they
when we're
do?
taping this.
That's cat hair and probably some cat feces mixed in with the cat hair.
Do I know a band called the Tumbleweeds? Is that a thing?
Probably. Sounds nice and pedestrian.
I can't remember if that's a fictional band from like a TV show or.
Sounds like an Americana band.
Oh, I mean, if there is one, that's
It's
probably what it is.
Mhm.
or kids band.
Um,
Like
Like a high
a
school
y-
band.
No, like a children's band.
Oh.
Like the what?
Just-
Woozle? No.
I-
they sound like a bluegrass jam band. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Kids Bop. I love Kids Bop.
That's pretty awful. I spent more time with that than I'd care to.
What, Kids Bop?
acknowledge.
You know. Does anybody ever remember? And then kind of feel terrible, but then at least
For knowing Jim J. Bullock and then not remembering who he is.
But and then think like, well, at least that's not a thing anymore. That when we were kids, that there were. I remember when I was a kid.
just say it,
that-
please, because I need to know what this is. You're stalling. Say it.
What happens when you do that? Now I'm going to forget what I was going to say, and I'll start talking about something else. Peers that I was friends with would listen to. There was a series.
Wait,
of
you had a friend named Piers? Like Piers Morgan?
Piers.
Brosnan?
Piers Anthony?
There was a collection of
Gwendolyn Piers?
mentally challenged children singing. Do you guys remember this? And like,
Oh yeah.
it was like a thing. And
The
then,
Kids
like,
of
people-
Whitney High?
Yeah,
Yes,
Kids of
that's
Whitney High.
And then they did a split with
Every girl was my girlfriend.
yeah, and like people would listen to it and like make fun of it, like as a
Would they? Isn't that kind of what Daniel Johnston's whole career is?
who?
Daniel Johnston.
Who's that?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel like a broken record this week, but he's Daniel Johnston.
Yeah, well,
is
you
like,
can't just sit there and act like you don't know either, and
Okay.
put me on the spot.
Do you know who Daniel Johnston is,
Yes,
Brittany?
but it's so fun to just watch you
I-
guys.
the
do
wheels
this,
just
but
spin.
They don't really spin though. They
for a
It's
minute,
just
like
I
kinda-
it's like
forgot that I
hitting
was
a
here.
patch of slick asphalt with bad tires.
That's great.
Okay. He's still around as far as I know, but
Mhm.
Daniel Johnston was basically this outsider artist, like severely mentally ill guy who kind of had a bunch of breakdowns and then started writing arguably brilliant pop songs, but all recorded in a very lo-fi manner, all very like idiot savant kind of things. So people like Kurt Cobain and the Melvins and the Butthole Surfers, he was from Austin, Texas. In the early to mid 90s, he was sort of championed as like this Wesley Willis type character.
Yeah, he would tour with.
I remember Wesley Willis.
Like Sonic Youth and all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, he was not well, and it's exactly it's almost like a whack pack kind of thing where it's just like, okay, is he really talented in doing these things, or are people just humoring him because it's crazy, or what? But like, there was a documentary about him, and at one point, like him and his father were flying in a little like propeller plane, and he had a breakdown and took the keys out of the ignition of the plane and threw them out the window while they were in the air. They ended up surviving. Like, I think he was able to land and everything, but like It's that kind of guy. And I can't believe I've stumped you on like 2 pop culture things because it's not like we were swimming in different pools, really.
I know.
Yeah.
Is that him?
No. No.
I feel like that is a very unsafe thing for planes to just have keys that you can just pull out of the ignition, throw
for
out
sure.
the window.
I can't even
do that on a car.
No, you have to be in park and stop for the thing to even turn.
Oh, I pushed the wings fall off button again. Sorry.
I mean,
The wing ejector button.
Cessna must just be like,
Those keys are
surely
rattling
no
too
one
much.
would ever do this.
Daniel J. Johnston.
Johnston.
Vilbrats.
I can't. I'm gonna get there before you do. Even this is.
Did you notice the reference when Zap threw the Slurm can on the ground?
Oh, so good.
And the tears.
The tears
Did you know that the guy in that commercial?
is not Native American.
Yeah, that was actually
No.
that was recently an episode of The Dollop. I mean, I knew that before, but
Yeah.
like the history of the whole thing, where like the world's most famous Native American actor was Italian.
Yep.
And just went like deep undercover for 50 years. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that the natives say "fech"?
Yeah. That was weird. It was super out of place.
Well, it wouldn't be weird if they were like
Do you know what
Yiddish.
yeah, it's Yiddish.
But that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like that was like
Why?
from out of nowhere. Like I don't.
Why do you think?
There was a really. I don't know if
It's
it was a
very
really random
bizarre.
joke or.
Maybe it's an inside joke. I don't know.
It's got to. It might be because they were very. The whole thing was almost a little bit of a mixture of Native American and
Okay.
like a
Do you think it
Jewish
was
type,
Nowadays,
like-
you'd call it a mashup.
No, I totally agree because later on he makes that jokes with cash like this. Who's going to argue?
Right.
Nobody. That's
Ah.
who. That's like a.
It's Billy
straight up,
West
yeah.
almost doing a combination of like a Native American and a Zoidberg type. Because when the chief first speaks, it's almost like a Harold Zoid type the way he's gonna speak, but then he has that whole
Yeah.
like
We skipped something. This is a
I don't
procedural
know.
thing.
Daniel Johnson, that gay guy from the '80s show. I think we covered everything. I don't think
Yeah.
we've
No,
skipped
no, no,
anything
wait.
in pop culture
Dan-
tonight.
Daniel
and
Johnston
airplanes.
wasn't a gay guy on a TV show. Jim J.
I said
Bullitt-
2 separate things.
No, you
Two
didn't.
separate
There's
things.
no comma in there. You just
There is
shoved
for
it all
me.
together. I think you need a proofreader. The Great Stone Face of Mars.
Oh yeah.
They say that the Great Stone Ass of Mars is on the other side of the planet. That makes sense.
Yep.
The planet would extend across the whole thing as an elementary canal. But then they uncover the rest of the body with the Great Stone
Oh yeah,
Face of
totally.
Mars.
So,
So
everybody's going back 10 minutes ago and unlaughing at that joke. Who?
Wow.
Come
no,
on.
I'm wondering about how that like.
Your mind
because
is interesting.
baby got back then. If that ass goes all the way down through the planet,
I mean, that's
It just-
that's one possible. Like I was trying to figure it out because I was thinking like it would be more like a snake where the face is here and the mouth is open and then the butthole would be on the other side.
No, it all-
straight
it all-
back. But in this case, it goes down and then all the way out across the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
bang.
I don't.
You just blew my mind, Tom, with your knowledge of Mars.
Speaking of how much you like Zap Brittany,
Yes.
I think my favorite.
Speaking
even
of
more,
much you like ass, man.
even more than the I'm the man with no name, and it wasn't even Zap as much. Like it was funny, but then the Martian when he's like, you know, I'm the great leader, so and so, and he's like, I'm Zap Brannigan, take me to your leader, and then
Moving
moving on.
along.
Though his
the
be-
delivery on that was just moving, just you know.
Yeah.
his best line of the entire episode comes later when he's like, "Come on, Kiff, teenagers all smoke, and they seem pretty on the ball."
Oh, that was
Don't-
later
don't
with
be
the
such
peace
a
pipe?
chicken.
I said it earlier, and I
Yeah.
thought it was when Kif
No,
was
it's
smoking
later
a
with the
cigarette.
peace
Okay.
pipe. Yeah. But
I-
still, a
peop-
lot of good Zap lines in this.
We're a people of law, no backsies. I've heard the term backsies like a whole bunch lately, and it's well, like from all this was 17 years old, and I heard it on some other things. Like, is that a real word?
That was a thing that kids say when you make a trade. No
yeah,
backsies.
no backsies.
Huh?
Like I'll trade you my Jello pudding thingy for
Yeah.
your
And then
nutty
you were,
bar.
I mean, like, and to be clear, I understand what it meant.
Mhm.
it's
You
just
heard it. You heard
yeah,
it. when you were a kid.
I don't know. It
I
seems
never
weird.
used that word.
Well, you weren't allowed to.
I said bankskis.
Is it Bankskis?
No bankskis.
Cynthia used to drink Slurm.
That's really why I was crying, not because he threw out trash.
What's a monkey trumpet?
Who says that? I forget.
I forget who says it too, but they say, "Oh, monkey trumpets."
Oh,
that
that's
was
Kiff.
Kiff.
That's
Yeah, that was
another
Kiffism.
good- yeah.
It's like it probably means.
Is that British slang?
Because
No,
he has to
but it's
smoke
probably-
the peace pipe.
Oh, yes, he's on the peace patch. Though.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
But yeah,
Oh.
they ask him to smoke the peace pipe, and he's like, "Oh, monkey trumpets," because he.
I'm on
I
the
don't
peace
smoke.
patch.
I feel like this is the one and only time in the entire series that that Zap ever says something not Zappish when Kiff saves the day and he's like Croker, that was one Brannigan-esque move, and like there was no joke after.
He's just
didn't-
being
he
cut,
just
yeah.
I mean he was being an asshole, like comparing him to
Yeah.
himself or whatever, but he genuinely was like
It was a backhanded
impressed.
compliment.
yeah, exactly. But still,
But
his
not
backhanded
from
comment was
Zap.
the nicest thing that he's ever said to anyone.
Yeah,
you know?
because the highest praise that Zap could give anyone would be to compare themselves
yeah.
to him.
Exactly.
So it is a backhanded compliment because who really wants that? But I didn't catch it. That's a good.
I didn't.
well,
either.
obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about Jim J. Bullock.
Gleesh.
Have you guys talked about Amy's slang
Her
before?
slang, yeah, it came
Yeah.
up early on, like in the first, because they really tried to put it out there as like
In
her
the
kind of her
beginning,
only
yeah.
line in the
Yeah.
first couple episodes, and then so like I think Pete probably asked about it, and then we said, oh yeah, it's going to be a whole running
Okay.
thing.
It's great.
I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah, it's
They'd be fun to come up with. You
Yeah.
know? I would like to be in that meeting where you just sit there and.
because it has to be you have to use it sparingly, and then the longer it goes on, you just kind of get one every few
There's
episodes.
like a rule to it too that they do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think.
Oh,
the
great.
way it is.
I love rules.
I do. A lot.
I know you're a rule guy.
And then, guys,
Rules are all we have to fight off the chaos.
it turns out that bead was a giant diamond.
Right. So, how should I get into this now?
I don't know. Should
number
you
one-
start and we'll tell you.
Yeah.
To stop
Okay.
if we-
So I didn't have to talk about Ben. Actually, now I think about it, Bender is hardly in this episode.
But when he is, it's so good because he's like, "Who's gonna save us? Drunken trash can?"
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He just gets drunk at the party.
I'm so.
And then-
and then
he didn't steal anything from the Wongs.
Oh no, he has one really good zinger.
Go
for
ahead.
Kiff.
Yeah, say it. Yeah,
He says
because I know what you're gonna say. I wrote it down and I missed it.
Don't worry, Kiff. I'm sure some other beautiful rich girl will fall in love with you.
And his laugh after it is such a good Bender. Like the way he delivers it, his laugh just like that's for as much as I'm like I don't like when Bender is just like that rascal or whatever. Then there's moments like this where he's really good at it, and it's great.
Okay. How did the native Martians not realize their giant bead was a diamond?
Well, clearly they're not Jewish.
Okay. That's established. Or maybe they
No,
are.
I'm saying like if they were, they would know
They
it's a
would've known.
diamond. You know what I mean?
But if the Wongs gave them the bead in exchange for Mars,
Oh,
number one, it wouldn't be such a great deal. They gave them a giant diamond. Number two, the Wongs would
Mhm.
surely know that the giant
That it's
bead
a
was a
diamond.
giant diamond. Number three,
Yeah.
when they started stealing their shit, the Bugalo and whatnot, why wouldn't they say, yeah, it was one bead, but it's a giant diamond? It never came up. Like how could the only
You know
possible
how things get lost through history and family stories.
No, but yeah, that's all that does
I-
kind of make sense.
actually, I never really thought of that.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good-
just thought
that's a
about
good
it
point.
now. I was just wondering, like, yeah, they gave him this big diamond, but how could like nobody? I mean,
all three of those, yeah, at least one of those should have,
Who
flag
points?
somewhere.
Who points out that it's a diamond? Like
I think Fry.
I think it's Fry.
Doesn't he go like it's a giant diamond?
like it's
or
coming
something
in
that?
like it's like a 007
Oh, and
scene.
Yeah.
and
Another
then-
good Bender moment when he looks at it and he just
Oh, and he's like,
he looks like he's gonna explode, and then he's just like,
Chief. I also, did the Martians have a spaceship the entire time? That they could have just taken off and gone somewhere?
Well,
Yeah.
they were going to
they
leave.
didn't want it was their home planet.
You want the shitty neighbors to go, not like go
You want the
because you have
oppressors
shitty
that-
neighbors.
But did they have a
Land stealers.
spaceship the entire time?
Yeah, they had
Clearly.
spaceships.
They
Or
just-
maybe they
Then
bought
why
one with
didn't
their-
they know it was a diamond? Why didn't they go try to take the bead somewhere else?
Well, they just thought it was a bead for some reason, which doesn't add up.
it's
I mean,
it's a huge plot
Could-
hole.
unless
Because their ancestors had no concept of property,
Oh, right.
but they do.
yeah. Well, did they put it somewhere and like never look at it, or I mean,
Or do you think it just became a thing where it was just they were angry for so many generations that they gave them this bead
Mhm.
that it didn't matter what it was, and that it was just about getting their land back from
Do you-
the Wongs?
Do you think they didn't know what diamonds were, or that they were valuable? I mean,
And-
it still doesn't make up for the other two reasons.
I don't know.
Do you think
And did
maybe
the
they-
European settlers give the Native Americans in
Beads.
America a giant diamond?
No, they did give them beads though.
Yeah,
and
because
smallpox blankets, right?
Yeah.
and
And you know how valuable those are
a
now,
whole,
guys.
A whole number
Stock
of things.
rose in
but there
those.
was
Tom bought my house for our friendship bracelet.
like apparently there
Full
was
of
some
smallpox.
there's some kind of currency that the natives used that was the system of beads, but I don't know that it was
But it's
very
not
elaborate.
even a bead. Do you guys know what makes a bead? It has
No.
to have a hole in it, right? So that you can put a string through it. That's what makes a bead.
Oh,
A
What
bead-
about a
Bead-
bead of sweat? That does not have a hole in it to put a
Oh,
string through.
boy. But anyway, it's usually
think
not
he
in
got
that like
you.
pointed shape, like it's going to be set in a princess cut Tiffany ring, which is
This
what
is
it looked
true,
like.
but it could have had like
Yeah.
a
Was that a
it could
princess
have been
cut?
drawn through the top.
I couldn't see the top of it, but I would assume yes. Ask Bender.
Is that because it has a crown on? Like, what makes it a princess cut?
It's just the shape on the top of it. It has like little sides,
Like-
and then it's flat on the
Like
top.
bevels?
Bevels. Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure it was a princess diamond. That's like the most common diamond shape.
Which ones involve the most
Stereotypical
blood
diamond shape.
as they're
All.
harvested?
All of them.
I love that movie, Inconceivable.
The
Princess
Bride?
Diamond.
Oh,
Oh no, wait! I was gonna make a Princess Diary.
We were
joke,
starting
but I
to
don't know any
talk
lines for the
about-
Princess Diary.
we were starting to
What
talk
movie
about
is the Princess Diary?
the De Beers.
Is it Diaries or Diary?
Cartel.
Tom, help me out.
Princess Diaries?
What? No, what is that? What's that movie?
Princess Diaries.
Yeah,
With-
who's in that?
Anne Hathaway?
Okay, that's what. Yeah, that's what. I'm thinking
Julie
of.
Andrews.
You like Anne Hathaway, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
Enough.
not who you said.
What? Who did I?
You said you had a crush on a celebrity.
No,
and
I
can't remember
didn't. No,
who
I
it
didn't. We
was.
were doing
It
a.
was Jim J. Bullock.
It was.
That was all him just playing coy.
Oh, okay.
He didn't want to make his
the
feelings
truth
too
is
known.
out.
Who? Oh.
Well, I've never heard of that handsome
It's all-
guy.
I unlock my phone and it's already pulled up.
Just a bunch of pictures of him.
I just, once again, episode falls apart at the end. It's lazy writing sometimes.
Not to mention, you have to like scroll through a couple seasons of Netflix to find this
oh
episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that whole thing.
You guys should talk about that for your list.
We've
I know
brought it
you
up a
have, but
few
like
times,
maybe
but-
reiterate it
Yeah.
because this
We-
one was especially.
We
wacko.
go off of production order, and it's what the order is on the DVDs as they were released when they came out. So
And it's also listed on the Wikipedia page what the production order is. So you
Yes.
can follow through that way. But
yeah,
Is that the air order?
no, those
No.
are those are different. And even Netflix, I think, doesn't necessarily follow the air order, does it?
no, I think this technically was season 4, episode 6 as far as airing order, but it's season 3, episode 10 in
Yeah.
production order, which
Wow.
it's on the volume 3, like season 3
Yeah.
DVD right after the next one.
We use a spreadsheet to keep track of these things.
Yes.
Because
It's confusing.
That's
Yeah.
why for guests, we always tell them what episode.
The name of it is.
Yes,
'Cause
we're
that's the
we're
best
talking
way.
about, not
Yeah.
where we're at. So most of our guests don't ever listen to the podcast, so it's not a problem.
yeah.
But it's people that follow along, and it's
I
like,
do.
wait, oh, whoops.
I don't know if the problematic elements of this episode are enough to like it had funny parts, but it really I don't know, 2017 me is having a hard time digesting some of it.
For me, it was nice to see Kif be a hero in an
That
episode.
part was fantastic. And I think Amy genuinely has deep feelings for him, and to have her sort of like express that and be like, if nothing else, she was super supportive and like encouraging of him to be like, no, I like you for who you are. And I don't care that it's not what my parents are looking for. Like, you're wonderful because you're you. And she keeps reiterating that. And that's unusual, I think, because he is sort of a nebbishy guy. Or maybe, now that I say that, maybe this is all just some Woody Allen bullshit. And we can dismiss the whole thing out of hand. Thoughts?
I don't know, it's a different episode. It's one of the only episodes in the entire series to, if anything, show Earth at all.
Oh, good point.
How do you mean?
It's that nothing takes place on Earth.
The opening credits take
is
place in New
arriving
York,
on
and that's it.
Okay.
Everything else is on Mars.
Oh, that was the other thing I was wondering about. It's my last note on here. No, it's not my last note, but almost. What are the moons on Mars? Does Mars have moons?
Yeah. They're small.
How many?
2, I think.
Is one of them lumpy?
They're both lumpy, I thought.
Okay.
I have no idea. I'm just going off
I mean,
my memory.
you sound like correct. I
had a board game when I was young about the solar system, and I remember
Phobos and Deimos.
Yeah.
And they do look a little lumpy. So I guess
They're
I was wondering what
sisters.
they were, if those are supposed to be asteroids or something. But oh my gosh, look at those. Those
Yeah.
are some lumpy ass moons.
Yeah, they are.
Right. But that
Yeah, I
one,
was
that one
right.
looks kind of smooth. The other one's got maybe a skin condition. Then at the end, another like earthquake rumbling thing, and Kif thinks that they made love again.
Yeah.
So it is.
Is Kif a virgin? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking if his expression of sexual excitement involves vibration.
I don't know. Doesn't yours?
Well, no. Oscillation, maybe. I mean, and you could probably relate those back to the same
Oh, so you
sort
did
of...
the helicopter thing? Oscillation?
First of all, you need a goat. Not for any sort of penetrative thing, just for
Just
support.
to watch?
Just for support. And then you
To
have
get the thumbs up.
It has the look of the sheep after a hypnotoad. Just staring at Pete and Brandy.
you take the ropes and thread them through the pulley, and you tie them to the goat's horns. That's step one. And really, this could be a whole other episode. So we can move on from there.
Can't wait for your book to come out.
It's gonna be fantastic. Thank you for guesting.
Yeah,
Brittany.
you were great.
Thanks, man.
Do you have like ways that you'd like people to find you on the internet, or things you'd like to talk about?
Sure. I am an arts writer, and I write for the Can Journal. Yes, CAN, like
Like
Can.
Andy Warhol, it's all about Campbell's paintings.
No, it's the Collective Arts Network. Sorry.
So it could be a number of different arts, or
we
is
like
it
to make a lot of
specific
potty
arts?
jokes about reading the can on the can.
See,
I mean,
bathroom
it's
readers.
just- yeah. But also, we are a quarterly magazine, and our next edition comes out on May 19th, and we're having a big issue release party at 78th Street Studios.
In Cleveland,
what
Ohio?
do you Google to read the articles?
Canjournal.org,
Okay.
canjournal.org.
It's not about the German band.
It is not, sorry.
Has anyone ever written an article about them in it?
In that, no. But I did write an article about Heather and Sarah Wax Madge Records. Do you know them?
Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, I
Um,
know of them. I know who they are.
So I have a feature in the next issue about their amazing vinyl creations.
Wonderful.
I follow their Instagram.
Yeah.
What
Very
were you about
cool.
to say about an event? At
Oh, it's at 78th Street Studios, May 19th, third Friday at Hedge Gallery. We'll have our new issue.
What floor is that on?
Oh my God, I don't
Oh,
know.
I'll figure it out.
First.
Look,
Everyone will figure it
it's
out.
on West 78th Street in
Yes.
Cleveland,
And Detroit.
Ohio. It's
So book your flight tickets now.
Lake.
Yes.
It's not off of Detroit. It's off of Lake. And if
It's off of either one.
no, it's not.
It is technically it's off Lake.
Oh.
It
Whatever.
doesn't,
America
it doesn't go
dead
through to
end?
Detroit. So you just steered people into Krafted.
If you tell
Good
America
job.
Airlines that you're coming to Cleveland for this event, they will not throw you off the plane or pull you off the plane.
Did you say United?
America.
Oh,
I said American Airlines.
Oh, they won't throw you
They
off.
won't.
they
and,
won't.
Yeah.
and
United
I mean,
Airlines, you won't even be able to board.
I don't know the address, but it'll be the only thing open on 78th Street at that time of night.
Yeah, you
so
just look
I mean, you
for,
can't miss it.
It's a huge event.
Oh, yeah?
Third Fridays. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the big art
Yeah.
party. The whole building is open with openings, and we'll be in one section. So
I thought you were saying that
Two
this
marks
event was-
past the hooker with one leg.
exactly to the left.
If you were on Detroit in 78th, you wouldn't be wrong.
And
Clearly.
if you see the hooker with 3 legs, you've gone too
You've
far.
gone too far. Yes.
When you take a left when you get to the hooker in the foot. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of fork in the road joke.
Oh my God, what if she has? Well, that could be a number of things. I
Oh
don't
man,
know.
that sounds like it would have been great.
Wow.
Anyways,
Yeah. Any other internet?
Instagram.
Presences.
My Instagram is @MarielBritt, MarielBritt, and we're also Can Journal @CanJournal on Instagram and
Perfect.
Twitter and everything else.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We can be found at
Slurmcast.com.
and at
Facebook.
and at
Twitter.
SlurmcastPod on Twitter, SlurmcastPod on Instagram. You can be emailed at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. You can phone us or message us via textual means.
Do people actually? I mean, I've heard your messages, right?
Yeah.
So people, you should tell people that they should call that number and leave.
We
you a
do
message.
all
we
the
do
time.
every single episode, and only John K calls us.
And
Still?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Lewis. Lewis has been doing it.
yeah.
Okay.
And we actually got a voicemail or a text or somebody about a line or something, somebody's favorite line of one of the last episodes that came out that we left out. People were really mad.
Oh,
that we
really?
didn't
was-
talk
oh,
they
about
should be.
it.
Yeah, it
Every
was-
once in a while we miss one, and I'll be listening to the episode like when it comes out, and I'm like, oh man, I can't believe it. You know.
I think that was an email though. They all go into the same thing, so it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah. So
Anyway, contact us. 216-438-1077 is the phone number. If Tom said that already, I forgot because my short-term memory is not working tonight. And I think that's it. We'll be back next week with another episode. Thanks for listening.
Bugalow.